Doug Pederson is not the easiest guy to work with. Doug Pederson has quite a big ego, and I think Doug Pederson shoots from the hip. And I think sometimes that shooting from the hip, people go, you've got to be safe from yourself. You know, Andy Reid, the stories out of Kansas City is that the Chiefs didn't mind losing Doug Pederson, and Andy Reid didn't mind losing Doug Pederson. And Andy Reid kind of was like, yeah, maybe you should get your own job. You know, maybe you should get a head coaching job. Yeah, you know what, Doug, you'd be great there. Yeah, there was always this sense out of Kansas City that Reid didn't mind or wanted Pederson to move on. And I think Pederson's difficult to work with. I think Doug Pederson has a very strong opinion of himself, very strong opinions around him, is willing to challenge people and maybe be a bit of a drama queen. And I think that drives people up a wall. And I think behind the scenes, they're going, well, Doug, you don't do this well, so how about this solution? Well, Doug, do you have a plan here? And Jeffrey Lurie and the reports were that when they've met since Week 17, again, he was going to keep his job after Week 17. Whatever happened with Nate Sudfeld, that was not the break point. That they had meetings after that, and that Pederson had no clear plan on fixing anything, and that drove Lurie up a wall. The Jeffrey Lurie was like, well, how do we get better from 4-11-1? And Pederson didn't have a plan or wanted to keep the same things in place or is very vague about things. I think he can be kind of sloppy. I think he can shoot from the hip. I think maybe that Doug Pederson's not as button-up as you'd want when you go 4-11-1. And I think that he bristled on Howie Roseman's control. Howie Roseman probably put a lot of the blame at Doug Pederson's feet. Carson Wentz behind the scenes is bickering about Doug Pederson. And what it leads to is Jeffrey Lurie going, okay, what's my easiest road to calming everything down? It's firing Doug Pederson. I think that's what this was. I think there was a bunch of brush fires going on. Pederson versus Wentz, Pederson versus Roseman, Wentz versus Jalen Hurts. And I think it becomes, you know what? The easiest road to putting out all the fires is to remove one guy. And it's not Carson Wentz. It is Doug Pederson.